It's another high-end phone, but bonus, it's got a physical QWERTY keyboard. How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and this is part 2 of the Motorola PHOTON Q 4G LTE full review on the site. But first, some love to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones like this for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, your contacts, your settings, all your keyboard settings, and more. So when you walk out the door, you're good to go. Let's take a look at all the new features on the PHOTON Q 4G LTE in the review. It's part 2, and it starts right now. Let's jump right into part 2, and as you can see, the screen is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet. I've got my fingerprints all over the display, and it's on maximum brightness, so of course you're seeing a lot of that. Let's jump right into some of the speed tests and get that out of the way. Quadrant standard, we'll load it up right now, and I will tell you a little bit about the overall call quality. Motorola does an exceptional job with their wireless radios. The PHOTON Q 4G LTE is no different. The Motorola's great when it comes to radio reception, when it comes to reception in radios. It continues to be good on this device. I've taken it to several dead spots or known dead areas with Sprint. Been incredibly impressed. Voice quality's been impressive. The downside to this device is the fact that 4G LTE isn't available, and it's not really even a device thing. It's just a Sprint thing. 4G LTE is not available in a number of markets yet, a number of major metro areas: Charlotte, New York, Atlanta, San Francisco, Seattle, etc. And unfortunately, as a result, actually it is available in Atlanta, I take that back, but it's not available in several major metros, DC, etc. And as a result, Sprint's 3G and networks that haven't yet implemented network vision is absolutely horrendous. It's absolutely terrible. If you're a Sprint customer and you're in one of those markets, you know that. If you're considering switching, take advantage of the trial period because it really is frustrating. Yes, LTE is going to be great. Speed tests on Sprint so far look really, really good. With that said, their 3G is abysmal in non-network vision areas. It's taken me 2 to 3 minutes to send a tweet on a regular basis. It takes forever to load pages. It's really frustrating, and for a company that I support as much as I do Sprint, I really like their culture. I think it's great to have a good underdog in the industry. Sprint and T-Mobile do a great job with that. They've got unlimited data offerings. It's unfortunate to see their 3G be as slow as it is. That said, voice quality on this device, very impressive, and hopefully they'll get their network issues worked out really soon. Quadrant standard 4,737, so take it with a grain of salt, but overall, really impressive performance. Not indicative always of day-to-day performance, but I've had little to no lag on this device. Been very impressed with it overall. And we'll take a look at speed test as well so you can see some of the network performance stuff and some of the issues I'm talking about here. Now, it's 4:30 in rush hour traffic in Charlotte, so bear with it. That can play a role in traffic, and of course these, again, aren't always indicative of day-to-day network performance because you may get an area where a cell site's been improved. This one actually looks to be pretty decent. These are some of the fastest speeds I've seen on Sprint in the Charlotte metro area. 0.7 megabits per second, pretty impressive. I average in my house, I averaged when I was testing it last night and the night before, about 0.006 megabits per second. So keep that in mind, 0.006 to 0.01 megabits per second. Pretty unimpressive by any stretch of the imagination. That's actually not that bad, 0.81 megabits per second. And then on the upload, let's see what we can pull in on Sprint's 3G network as well. And while we're doing that, I'll talk about battery life also. 1,785 milliamp hour battery here. It's non-removable. If you are a road warrior, and you can see that speed is not particularly great, but still better than some of the 3G speeds I've seen in the area. Not particularly great when it comes to battery life either. It's a 1,785 milliamp hour battery with moderate use. I'd say anywhere from 8 to 10 hours, depending on your personal definition of moderate or heavy or whatever the case may be. That said, carry around a car charger, carry around a spare charger. If you're a road warrior, you're going to want to keep one installed in your car and ready to go at all times because battery life isn't that great, and unfortunately, it's non-removable. I think we've gotten spoiled, or at least I know I've gotten spoiled by some of the bigger batteries. The 2,500 milliamp hour battery in the Galaxy Note, the 3,300 milliamp hour battery in the Droid Razr Max, a 2,100 milliamp hour battery in the Galaxy S3, for example, and you go down to something like this, and the battery life difference really is noticeable. So, again, not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I've definitely seen worse, but I keep in mind, if you want to make it through the day with moderate use, you may need to charge it once, depending on your definition of moderate use. But overall, really impressive device in terms of speed, in terms of performance, and it's yet another Motorola device that comes with a program called Smart Actions. Now, Smart Actions, pre-installed by Motorola, and it's intended, according to this, to simplify your life by automating actions you do every day. How do you like my announcer voice? Is it exactly what you imagined an announcer voice to be? Maybe you didn't, I don't know. Drive Smart is one of my favorites because when you have Drive Smart enabled, you can send your text messages automatically away. It won't pop up. It'll say something like, hello, I'm driving, I'll catch you when I get to my destination, or I'm in a meeting, or you can do whatever. But Drive Smart's one of my favorites because we start the rule here, and we can say triggers, we can create actions when, you know, I can auto reply, driving, I'll get back to you soon. I can launch the application, vehicle mode, turn the ringer volume on high, so I can take those phone calls but don't have to look down at the phone for text messaging. I can discard those like I'm going to do. And of course, I've got a bunch of different options here with Drive Smart. Just some things to make life a little bit easier for you. And I do like the smart actions quite a bit. Charging reminder is great. Meeting rule, silences the phone when you're in a meeting. So you can come in here and see calendar events. When those calendar events are triggered, I can set the ringer volume to silent. I can say I'm in a meeting if somebody text messages me. Just a lot of different cool little things that you can do. And they've really done an impressive job. They've outdone themselves with the smart actions. Been pretty impressed with those. And of course the Google Play stuff integrated in here as well. Then you've got Chrome, which I wanted to take a closer look at since we haven't really looked at this on any Android devices just yet. We'll accept and continue since it's pre-installed. Here on Baker, we're going to sign in. Of course we are. And we'll log into Chrome right now and load up another page so you can take a look at it as well. And again, portrait landscape transitions, nice and fast. And I'm really impressed with the keyboard on this device. So we'll switch between open tabs right here, and you can see all the different tabs. A fantastic desktop, or fantastic browser experience rather, that's very similar, I should say, to a desktop. I like the transition effects. Again, has a nice feel to it. And something that I thought that Android has always historically lagged in is that, you know, fluidity when it comes to making it look nice or making it look aesthetically pleasing. And when I see programs like this, I'm like, you know what? They finally get it. They're finally coming up there. Regardless of what you think about iOS, they do a great job in fluidity and just making things easy and making them look super clean. And with these more recent builds like Ice Cream Sandwich and Jelly Bean, they're moving in closer and closer to a similar result on Android. But you got your tabs here. I can fold those open and closed. And then come in here, we'll go up to phonedog.com again. Not PhoneDog. We'll load up PhoneDog. Let's see what it says in Google. We'll load up PhoneDog like this. Then we'll take a look at it again in portrait and in landscape mode. I don't want to spend too much time in this because I want to cover the camera in part 2 as well. But you can see here again, typical web page with pinch to zoom performance being relatively decent. Let's take a look at the camera on that note. 8 megapixel camera, 1080p HD video recording. Overall, I've been pretty impressed with the camera. It's definitely a decent performance, nothing amazing by any means. You look at some of the industry heavyweights on the market right now, the 1X series, and all of the 1 series with the exception of the V, and then you look at the Galaxy S3, both very impressive in the image quality department. And these devices have a tall order if they want to stand up to that. So you can see I'll bring in the Galaxy Nexus here, for example, which I happen to have beside me. Press and hold on screen to focus. Let go to take the picture, and then I have the physical camera button up here. You know how much I love my physical camera buttons. That said, you don't get the ability to half press to focus. Once you click the button, it's an automatic picture that's taken. But you can see relatively decent picture here. Little to no distortion, but of course, again, you see the stock Google look and feel here with the way that it looks with the menu structures and more. So again, Motorola has done a great job of kind of keeping the basic things that they need to define their platform and really make it easy. And then you have a very stock experience outside of that. Another thing I want to highlight is widgets as well, and I want to show you the widgets that come out of the gate. So you get some stock Motorola ones, like you'll see this Motorola bookmark specific one, you'll see the circles one, the calendar, for example, is a Motorola one. We can bring it in here, and I can make it a couple of different sizes if I want to, which I already have it on one of my home screens. So I can remove this one, for example, and then I can add something else. And we'll go in here and do, well, let's do bookmarks. Let's see if we can add bookmarks. Bam, and then I can change that around as I see fit, make it a little bit longer, so I can really customize these screens to how I want them to look and really make this device my own, which is something I really like on the PHOTON Q 4G LTE. Drive Smart shortcuts and more. Excuse me, I've got this tickle in my throat. It's been lasting all week. It's driving me nuts. Hopefully I can get rid of it in the next couple of days. My apologies for coughing. But you do have some great widgets on this device, and like any Motorola widget in the past, it is customizable, so you can customize it to the home screen and make it fit how you want it to fit. And of course, when you're in landscape, you've got a search and a voice shortcut that pop up, and all of these things move to the right in a nice, clean, decent look. So all in all, you know, I'm really impressed with this device. When you walk into a Sprint store to upgrade, or if you're looking at this device, this is by far, in my opinion, the best spec'd QWERTY keyboard device on the market right now. They've really done a good job. They've added a great processor, 1.5 gigahertz dual-core CPU. The screen size is decent, 4.3 inches. I'd really like to see an HD display on the next version of this device. Maybe if they make a PHOTON Q 4G LTE Max. That'd be a name, that'd be a mouthful. But hopefully that would address a bigger battery and an HD display. That might be nice. Of course, all the people that like Motorola or hate Motorola are literally sighing and disliking the video right now because of how Motorola releases incremental upgrades. But I think that might be a good idea for a future device. Just hang on a couple months, Motorola. Let people enjoy their Photon Q 4G LTE. Where it's going to boil down to is if you need the QWERTY keyboard, you're looking for a device with great specs, you still want that 8 megapixel camera, it's going to be a decent device for you. It's $199.99 at Sprint stores. The downside of that is that it's $200. So is the Evo 4G LTE, so is the Galaxy S3. Two awesome devices. So if specs are more important to you, well, the Evo 4G LTE and the Galaxy S3 are spec'd better. So if specs are important to you, that's going to be the device you should go with. If you really need a QWERTY keyboard, you're okay sacrificing a little bit of battery life and, of course, the HD display, this could be a good device for you if you need that QWERTY keyboard. All in all, I'm really impressed with it, though. I'm impressed with what Motorola has done with their software, how they've made it. They pared it back a little bit, made it a little bit more stock with a look and feel, but still retains some Motorola customization and some Motorola stuff. The best, I think, of the Motorola UI. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of the Photon Q 4G LTE. We've got a bunch of dogfights coming, so stay tuned for that. Those are always exciting. Dogfights between hot Sprint devices and more. Be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/PhoneDog as well. And we're starting up the greatest tech giveaway ever, part 2. So stay tuned for an awesome giveaway. You can win one of a bunch of different devices, including, little birdie tells me, the Asus Pad Phone, Optimus 4X HD, 1X. If any of that sounds exciting to you, head over, like us, and stay tuned for that announcement. Like me on Twitter as well. Follow me. Let me know what you think of this device. PhoneDog_Aaron on Twitter and on Facebook at facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. I'm off to take a look at this device and some other devices and put those together in a dogfight. But stay tuned for more coverage on the Photon Q 4G LTE on PhoneDog.com. I'll see you next time.